All right, welcome to the Beyond Live podcast. So let's get into it. And I think today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Here we go. This is a paranormal podcast. We talk about ghosts, spirits, monsters, haunted houses, and usually I go with the haunted house and a ghost hunting team first. I think we're going to go with the monster of the week. I mean, call it cryptid, call it urban legend. But what I picked this week is something that's around everywhere. See it in movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. You're probably the most famous story about it is the genie in the lamp, and you got multiple movies, TV shows covered it. I'm drawing a blank right now. You got movies. Disney's done it, like Aladdin, Genie in the Lamp. Gives you 3 wishes, get what you want. Some of them are tricksters. There's just a lot of different forms of these guys. It's an Islamic mythology. Jinn are a class of spirits that live in a separate world from humans and can appear in human and animal forms. They are believed to be lower than angels and can influence humans for good or evil. So they can be good or evil. Find some good ones. Jinn are also known as genies, the jinns, and they're also said to resemble humans. Like we said, take the form of humans, but are invisible, and they are said to have emotions, eat, drink, live in tribes, and usually believed to be stronger than humans. So these guys are very dangerous, very powerful, and if you and there's been so many interpretations of these guys, like some monster shows, like the Supernatural show. Their version of the Jinn is a person who looks like a human, but can change into his monster form anytime he wants. And he basically gives you a drug, a pheromone or something, and puts you into a deep sleep and gives you visions of really nice stuff. You're dreaming of the best stuff in the world, like dreaming of the things you want. Yeah. So they put you in this sleep. They force feed you your most outrageous desires. You want to be rich. They give you a scenario where you wake up with a beautiful woman. You're rich, but you are dying. They're literally draining the life out of you, and you will eventually fade away and die. So other than that, we said there's a pre-Islamic Arabia, and later the Islamic cultures and beliefs. Like humans, they are accountable for their deeds and can be either believers or disbelievers, depending on whether they accept God's great guidance, since jinn are nearly innately evil nor innately good. Islam acknowledged spirits from other religions that was able to adapt them during the expansion. Jinn are not a strictly Islamic concept. They may represent several pagan beliefs integrated into Islam to assert a strict monotheism, monotheism, and the Islamic concept of Tawhid, the awareness of God. Islam denies any affinities between the jinn and God, thus placing the jinn parallel to humans. Also, subject to God's judgment and afterlife. The Quran condemns the pre-Islamic Arabian practice of worshiping or seeking protection from them. So at one point, the Arabians kind of falls in the same line as the movies, Arabian Nights and all that stuff. Pre-Islamic Arabia, they worshiped these genies. They wanted to find the genies. They rubbed the lamp for the genies, to get what they want. And sometimes they got them, sometimes they didn't. The exact origins of belief in jinn are not entirely clear. Belief in jinn is the pre-Islamic or Arab. Religion is testified not only by the Quran, but also by pre-Islamic literature in the 7th century. I'm just reading this stuff off from some articles I read. These are just interesting. In the Middle East, there are some originated as malevolent spirits residing in the deserts and unclean places, who often took the forms of animals. Others hold that they were originally pagan natured deities, who gradually became marginalized as other deities took greater importance. That's like most of the things that I'm reading here is just not, they're just opinions of doctors and people who have researched them over the years. The scary ones from the TV show Supernatural, I wouldn't run into one of those. That's just straight up scary. Be living my best life and then I'm dying out in the real life. That's just nuts. Don't want to be a part of that. So, that being said, Jinn, genies, whatever they are, you're scary. And, I'm going to stay away from you. So, that said, we're going to take a quick break. And we'll come back with the hunt for ghosts. All right, we're back. We're going to get into it. Kindred Spirits. This one's called Cabin in the Wood. Amy and Adam. They're investigating this large cabin that's on 35 acres. Catherine and her husband, when he was alive, or when he was around, they didn't really go into details on the show. But Catherine and her husband, they built this house. It's on 35 acres. Her and her daughter lived there. And about 11 years before they did the hunt, they sat there and things started happening, starting with an exploding light fixture. It was a nice wooden fixture. It just blew up. Light and everything. You had wood all over the floor. You had glass all over the floor. It was crazy. I mean, the way she explained it. Daughter got scratched. Master bedroom, heard steps. And there's also a small figure standing by the bed, like a childlike figure. There's something standing in the woods looking into the house. You can see the shadow of somebody. It looks like somebody's leaning over a tree, and you can see him coming in. And when she was telling them that on the interviews, and the tour, Amy and Adam both saw that same thing. Didn't say anything until they got by themselves, because something like that has got to be terrifying. And so they saw something, so they believe her in that. They're going to investigate that more. Heard voices in the hallway. Kitchen table makes a noise. Her son, Adam, died as an infant, so they think that might be him. So that was the interview and process of that. Now down to the investigation. EVP number 1, they did in the living room. And as they were doing it, they heard the kitchen table move, just like the lady said that it makes a distinct sound when it moves, like being pushed across the floor, like. They heard that. You can hear that on the tape if you listen to it, or if you watch the show. They moved to the table after it made noise, and then they got nothing after that. They went to the guest room, EVP number 2, and they asked the question, "Do you watch from the woods?" And you hear a voice come back, "Yes." And then they pretty much got nothing from after that. So they decided they need more research. And then so Amy, they split up. Adam went to the library and decided he was going to research the property, find out who the owners were before, anything that could have happened back in the day. So while he was doing that, Amy was talking to the owner again and trying to get anything else that owner might remember now. And the owner was basically, "Hey, she saw a shadow person watching her sleep. That goes along with by the bed and all that stuff." So that being said, they also said that something weird happened that would correlate with a child. That there was a workbench, a little play workbench outside, that a little saw moving. And they said it came on by itself and just started working. Toys malfunction all the time. Could be that, could be anything. So back to Adam. Adam was doing his research and found out the Ashcraft family owned sawmills on the same land. And he had one of the sawmills literally not that far from where they're at. Practically right there. So, the more research, Adam uncovered that the Ashcraft family had a daughter. They lived on this property. They had a sawmill on this property, and the sawmill was not that far from the house. And one day they had a three-year-old little girl. Warning, this is gruesome. This is not nice. It's horrifying. So just giving you a warning to skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. They had a 3-year-old little girl. And one day the mom brought the 3-year-old little girl to see her dad at the sawmill where he worked. And she basically ran into the giant blade and was cut in half and died. Horrifying because it's a 3-year-old little girl. And so that is said, the drama of the show happens when Adam is kind of leery to tell Amy about this due to her daughter is 3 years old, almost the exact day. So she's a little upset when he actually does tell her. The little girl was named Lucinda, and she was 3 years old. So night number 2, they go upstairs. They're in the boys' room. The little boys, they have a kid's room. because there's a grandkid. And they have this little bear. This little bear that it's designed for children to try to play with and touch. And if it's a ghost child, it goes off, makes noise. Those that are into ghost hunting and stuff, you guys know the deal. Ghosts work a lot on electromagnetic pulses. They can move things that are electronic. They can set sensors off. That's why they use a lot of light stuff and electronic stuff that they can manipulate from beyond. And hey, that's part of my title. So Lucinda Ashcraft was 3 years old. They're upstairs. They're using the bear, the little teddy bear that's designed for ghost hunting. And it goes off. The bear went off 2 times in a row. And when they were talking to it, and they're saying, hey, touch the bear, have fun, bear. And the bear goes, hee hee, I like it when you touch me. That's what they said. Yes, it probably sounded very creepy when I said it. Well, guess what? This is a creepy show. You should listen. I'm the ghost with the most. Everybody should know that one. Say my name, Beetlejuice. Not a sponsor. Adam at one point thought the bear moved. And EVP got nothing. They looked at the video. The bear did not move. And so they got nothing. They're getting frustrated. So they decided to bring Catherine in to see if she can stir up anything, because it seems that it goes off when they're in the house. So they're in there. They're talking. I believe they're in the boys' room again. And they ask, why are you here? And then they get a comment back that says, Adam. Well, one of the hosts on the show is Adam. So at first they were like, me? But Catherine's baby boy that passed away when he was an infant, his name was Adam. So now they get something with Catherine here. And could it be Adam? It sure as heck could be. And then they asked, how old are you? And it literally says 33. And Catherine says, Adam would be 33 years old. So 33 years ago, her son passed away. And now we got 2 EVPs supporting, one saying they're here because of Adam, which it could be he is Adam. And then the second one's confirming what his age would have been. So, now they go to the back room of the downstairs. And they're doing EVP, and they ask, are you lost? It says, I am. And then they ask, are you a little girl? And it responds, yes. And then the third part, and I believe they said they were going to not have, I believe at this point they asked, I can't remember her name, the owner of the house, Kathy, to leave at this point because they were going to investigate the little girl. And they didn't want to tell her anything about it because it's just horrific. And if they have nothing to say, and if they don't think it is the girl, they're not going to tell her. So they asked. So Kathy's gone. They're in the back room, the extra room in the bottom. And they're doing EVP. and they say, did I? Oh, yeah, they're in the back. God, I'm messing everything up. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, they're in the back room. They ask, are you lost? It says, I am. And it says, are you a little girl? And it says, yes. It also says, third question they ask, what is your name? And they got a EVP back, Lucy. It was more grainy, like, Lucy. It's like, if you haven't watched these shows, you don't know how they come up. They're kind of staticky and stuff, but you can definitely tell that there's a word there. And if you have good enough ears, you could actually hear the word. But once they kind of identify what the word is, the word gets clear. Could that be something your mind's telling you? And it kind of switches things up or whatever. So Lucy comes back and everybody, it's Lucy, Lucinda. Lucy could be short for Lucinda. And in a lot of cases, it probably is. So Lucy is actually short for Lucille, Lucinda, whatever. No, it's not whatever. How many times can I say whatever? So now you kind of got confirmation that the little girl which lived on the property and died on the property in a horrific death. And from the EVP from the night before, or 2 nights before, that they got, are you the one peeking in? And it said yes. They think it's also the little girl. And the little girl explained she is lost. And she was the girl. And her name was Lucy. So they have a little girl and a little boy. And they confirmed that as a little boy. Oh, also, connection. If you guys remember earlier in the episode, we got that toy outside on that little workbench. And the one mechanism that was moving on it was the saw. Coincidence? The little girl died because of a saw? That's familiar. I don't know. A little eerie, a little crazy, a little nutsy. But other than that, just the owners seem to think that seem to be positive about it. And positive about what they found. The fact that they found, basically, it's Adam, what they thought they was, and that's what they hope. The mother's kind of reunited with her son. It's in ghost form, but... And then this little girl, Lucy, that's just lost. That's been there for a very long time. And she's just lost after her horrific death. So, I'd say this is a very positive ending. That the house is haunted by 2 friendly ghosts. And there's nothing to be afraid of. I like these kind of hauntings. They're good hauntings. And other than that, I guess we're going to end on that note. I wish I had more for you. Damn. Next time, I guess I can give you a sneak peek. What the hell? Trapped in the Attic. This is about a house built in 1924. It's a tenement house. New England, all those areas. Houses are old. Houses are haunted. You buy a house in that area, more than likely it is haunted. So, this is a 3-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom house, a 3-apartment house where the grandmother sleeps on the bottom and 2 granddaughters and their families sleep on the 2nd and 3rd floor, and the 3rd floor being the most haunted. Nothing ever goes into the grandmother's house. There's nothing there. But the 2nd floor, there's knocking on doors, kitchens, slotted spoons being thrown. This is an interesting one. I like the result of this one as well. So I would, without giving you guys too much, and honestly, I'll be honest, don't have a lot of followers. If I did, I wish I had some suggestions on urban legends or cryptids, monsters I can take into, like today. Like, I think I might do Chupacabra. But other than that, if you do listen and you do kind of like what you hear, go ahead. Send me a suggestion of something crazy. Or if you have your own story, go and send me the story. Might just get read on the air. That's what I would like. Anybody who does listen to right now, go and send me your creepy story, your ghost story, any ghost story you want. I'd love to have them. I'd love to do something other than the ghost hunting ones or just plain old cryptids. Give me a story about your scary story. Yeah, give me your story about your scary story. Of course I'm going to be freaking goofy now. All right. Other than that, I'd like to thank you for listening. I am going to try not to talk any more longer because I hear trouble rolling up. Thank you very much. And have a nice day. And enjoy those ghosts. Goodbye.